I was on a business trip in Charlotte when everything I believed about my marriage cracked like a windshield hit by a brick. The day had been long, back-to-back meetings, coffee that tasted like burnt rubber, and a dinner with clients who wouldn't stop talking about golf. I was drained. I just wanted to take a hot shower and fall into bed at the hotel. But right as I was about to slip my phone into the charger, it buzzed. Ring camera, motion detected, front door, 9:17 p.m. I stared at the screen. My house. Back in Franklin, Tennessee. The front porch light was on. I tapped the video feed without thinking. I was expecting maybe a delivery guy or the neighbor's kid messing around again. But instead, I saw her. My wife, Megan, standing at our front door. In jeans and that gray hoodie she always stole from my side of the closet when she wanted to feel cozy. Only, she wasn't alone. There was a man with her. Taller than me, broad shoulders, scruffy beard. He stood too close. She looked up at him like I used to dream she'd look at me after a long day. And then, God help me, she kissed him. Right there. On our porch. In the light of the camera I installed with my own two hands. Lips pressed, soft and familiar, like it wasn't the first time. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. My thumb just stayed there on the screen while my chest started to cave in. The kiss wasn't long, just a few seconds. But it was enough. It was proof. They pulled apart, and she laughed, quiet and carefree. I hadn't heard her laugh like that in months. Then she unlocked the front door and let him inside. Into our home. Our home. I dropped the phone. Just let it fall onto the hotel bed like it was burning hot. I sat down, hard, the mattress sinking under me as my knees gave way. You never forget the moment your world shifts. It's not a loud explosion. It's a hollow, slow echo that keeps ringing in your ears long after the sound is gone. I sat there for 10 minutes staring at the floor. My wife. My house. Some other guy? I replayed the footage. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe it was a friend. A cousin. But no, that kiss. No one kisses a cousin like that. No one laughs like that with someone who isn't making them feel wanted. Needed. She hadn't looked at me like that in a long time. I didn't call her. I didn't rage or text or even scream into a pillow. I just watched it again. 3 times. Studied the way she tilted her head. The way her fingers brushed against his chest when she pulled away. That wasn't a mistake. That was comfort. That was practiced. That was betrayal. The rest of the night was a blur. I don't remember showering. I don't remember turning off the lights. But I remember lying in that unfamiliar bed, staring at the ceiling fan, and wondering if I had just been too blind, too trusting, too damn naive. The next morning, I flew home early. Told the team I had a stomach bug. Maybe I did, in a way. Something inside me had ruptured. On the flight, I kept imagining the two of them in our living room. Did they sit on our couch? Did she pour him a drink from the cabinet I stocked? Did they laugh over the show we used to binge together? By the time I landed, I wasn't sad. I was hollow. I drove straight from the airport to a gas station near our house. Parked in the back lot, hands on the wheel, heart pounding. I didn't go inside. I didn't want a confrontation yet. I just needed to see the house. My house. It looked the same. Lawn mowed. Porch light off now. Her car was in the driveway. Alone. I sat there for a long time. Watching. I finally went in that afternoon. Walked through the door like nothing was wrong. She was in the kitchen, making a sandwich like it was just another Tuesday. She smiled. Hey, you're back early. I looked at her. Just looked. And something about the way she avoided my eyes made everything feel worse. She always used to meet my gaze when she smiled. I set my bag down and nodded. Yeah, meetings got cut short. She walked over, kissed my cheek. Good trip. I just said, fine, and walked past her into the bathroom. The rest of the evening was surreal. She chatted about some show she watched, asked if I wanted takeout. I gave short answers. I couldn't stop thinking about the way she kissed him. The way her hand grazed his back like it belonged there. When she went to bed early because of a headache, I stayed on the couch. Watched the video again in the dark. There was no mistaking it. She kissed another man. Welcomed him into our home. And then lied to my face without so much as a flicker of guilt. And I didn't know what to do. I couldn't scream. I couldn't break things. That would just make me the bad guy in her next story. I needed to be sure. I needed more. So I checked the Ring archive. Not just the front porch, but the backyard camera. The side gate. I saw more footage. Her car pulling in after work at odd times. Him walking up our sidewalk again 2 nights earlier. Always late. Always just after dusk. She didn't even try to hide it. I didn't sleep that night. Just sat in the living room with a bottle of bourbon and every ounce of trust I'd ever had draining out of me like water through a sieve. I thought back to how we met, 4 years ago at a mutual friend's wedding. She'd been so open, so bright. We danced barefoot on the grass that night, and she told me I made her feel safe. Now I felt like a stranger in my own house. Unsafe, unseen, unloved, and all because of one notification, one buzz, one kiss on a porch I built with my own 2 hands. The following morning, I didn't leave for work. I called in sick, voice hoarse, words tight. I wasn't sick in the body, just in the soul. I couldn't step outside and pretend to care about quarterly reports when my whole world had been kicked in the teeth. She came downstairs in her robe, hair damp from a shower. She smiled again. God, that smile looked like a mask now. I wondered how many times I'd believed it when it was covering something like this. Still not feeling well? She asked, her voice warm. Nope, I said, sipping black coffee, eyes locked on hers. Didn't sleep much. She sat across from me at the table. You sure you're okay? I paused, looking at her. I wanted to ask it straight out. Who was he? Why our house? How long? But I didn't. Not yet. Not without watching her lie again. So I said, do you ever feel like something's changed between us? She blinked, hesitated. What do you mean? I mean, do you still feel married? Because I feel like I'm living with someone who has one foot out the door. She looked down, stirring her tea. We've just been off lately. Stress. Work. You travel so much. That's how she played it, my job. My distance. My fault. Always some external reason. But her eyes, they darted just enough. She was lying. She knew what I knew. But she didn't know how much I knew. So I let her go on pretending. That evening, after she went upstairs to shower, I downloaded every clip from the Ring account. I saved them all. Her kissing him walking into our house, her standing on the porch with that look of affection reserved for someone who used to be me. Then I backed up everything to a USB and tucked it in my desk drawer. Just in case. I didn't plan to use it right away. I wasn't interested in revenge, not the screaming kind. I wasn't going to post it, throw it in her face. But I wasn't going to be blindsided if she turned this around and painted me as the problem. I'd seen what betrayal could do to a man. Make him question his own worth, his memories, even his sanity. I wasn't about to let that happen to me. The next few days were a strange theater. She'd act normal, laughing at shows, asking about my day, even trying to initiate closeness, touches on the arm, kisses on the cheek. But it was forced, like she knew something had shifted, like she could feel me drifting, and she didn't know why. And then, on Saturday, it happened again. Ring camera, motion detected, front door, 11:42 p.m. She thought I was asleep upstairs. She didn't know I was downstairs in the study, watching the screen glow. There he was. Again. Same scruffy beard, same smug posture. This time, she didn't kiss him on the porch. She looked over her shoulder first, paranoid, and then pulled him inside quickly. That was all I needed. I sat in the dark for a long time, hands clenched into fists I didn't use. I could have stormed up the stairs, thrown the door open, caught them in whatever act they were playing. But I didn't want the image burned into my eyes. I didn't want my dignity torn up on the bedroom floor. I waited. Quiet. Calm. I knew she'd slip eventually. At 2:07 a.m., I heard him leave. Soft footsteps. Front door closing. I didn't move. She came down 20 minutes later, acting groggy, in her pajama pants and hoodie, eyes puffy like she'd just woken up. She walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge, poured water. Then she turned and jumped a little when she saw me sitting at the table. Jesus, you scared me, she said. I looked at her, dead in the eye. Who is he? She froze. She didn't say, what are you talking about? She didn't play dumb. Her eyes just filled with panic. Megan, I said, slow and even. Who the hell is the man you've been sneaking into our house while I'm gone? Her jaw moved like she was about to speak, then stopped. I stood up and walked to the counter, picked up the USB, held it out. Everything's on here. Every time. Every kiss. Every time you opened the door and let him in while I was out earning for this place. She didn't take it. Tears welled up fast. I didn't mean for it to happen. I laughed, bitter and low. You didn't mean to do it multiple times? You didn't mean to lie to my face every day? You didn't mean to kiss another man on our porch, Megan? She started crying, hands covering her face. But I didn't rush to comfort her. Not this time. I'd done that for too long. For every cold shoulder, every excuse, every lie dressed up as stress. I was lonely. she said, sobbing. You're always gone, and I didn't feel seen. He listened. No, I said quietly. He distracted you. There's a difference. She tried to talk more, but I didn't want explanations anymore. I'd already made my choice. I grabbed my coat, my bag, which I'd quietly packed, and walked toward the door. Where are you going? She asked, voice cracked. Somewhere I can breathe, I said. Somewhere I don't have to watch the woman I love let a stranger in the door while telling me nothing's wrong. Mason, please, she stepped forward. I stopped. You broke something, Megan. And the worst part? You didn't even try to fix it. You just kept sweeping the pieces under the rug, hoping I'd never notice. She collapsed into the chair, hands shaking. I opened the door and turned to her one last time. I would have fought for us, if you'd been honest. But you made your choice. Now I'm making mine. And then I left. That was 8 months ago. Now, I live in a modest one-bedroom apartment on the edge of town. Nothing fancy, but peaceful. I've got a little patio where I drink coffee in the mornings, and I sleep through the night. I still get the occasional text from her. I miss you. Can we talk? I made a mistake. I don't reply. Because the truth is, the moment she kissed another man on the porch of the life we built together, she ended something sacred. And when she walked him into our home, without thinking twice, she didn't just betray me. She erased us. And I'm not chasing ghosts anymore.